I have my, there we go. All right. Hi, everybody. Happy 26th of September. I was gone yesterday, which you guys probably, if you're here, you know that. I was at a retreat, creative convention, she calls it. And so I pushed Christmas card to tonight from last night because, you know, I usually do it at 7 p.m. Eastern on the 25th. So let me get my Facebook going so I can see. Oh, Merry Christmas, Debbie. So if you guys are here, comment, let me know where you're watching from. Share me, comment, do all that fun stuff. Oh, and Chris is here from North Carolina. Debbie Schmucker Green. Patty's on. Patty, I went to Cracker Barrel, you guys, on yesterday morning for breakfast, and gotta love the Cracker Barrel store inside there. I used to get all kinds of sweaters. We always called them my teacher sweaters because they were all the holidays and whatnot all decorated around on them, but they had the cutest little headband with the little tiny witch hat on it. And of course I don't do a Halloween video, but I do a Christmas video. So I hunted through all of the Cracker Barrel to try and find a new hat. I got to get some other stuff. I got to get some antlers. I got to get something blinky and whatever, so I don't have to wear this hot hat every single time. And you know, then if I remember. Oh, Patty, I can't have Christmas music in the background because then they'll take me down for infringement of the copyrights or music rights, whatever. But if you want to come over and sing your own made up songs or play an instrument that might sound like a Christmas song, that would be beautiful and wonderful if you wanted to do that. I'm going to get started. I'm going to try and implement some of the things already, you guys, that I learned at my little thing I was at. I need to be more purposeful. So I'm here and I need to tell you about myself and things like that. And it's just, you know, I'm going to notice that I'm changing it up, but I'm going to get better. So I need to remind myself or remind you guys kind of thing. I'm Jill Blanchette with Green Thumb Stampers. And Pam is here. Hi, Pam. Our other Debbie. Thanks for joining me, guys. Let me put my computer back here and I will do my best to keep still watching the screen because I believe you're seeing me. I forgot my mouse. I was watching comments, you guys, and some lady commented that I was disorganized. So I apologize for my disorganization, but you know, it's life, right? Things happen. I do get discombobbled. I talk, I ramble. That's just me, and you're getting me, guys. So I apologize if I'm hard to follow, hard to watch, but I appreciate those of you that stick with me and do watch me. It makes my heart happy. So tonight I'm going to show you guys a Christmas card. Oh wait, did I introduce myself? I got all rambled off track. I'm Jill Blanchette with Green Thumb Stampers here in Michigan. And I'm not really going to go through all the housekeeping kind of things that I would on my Tuesday Night Live, but just remember celebrations winding down. If there is anything that you still want to get, the sheep dyes are gone and the sparkly paper is gone. But yes, Mother, before you get to wondering, I got your sheep dyes in just like the day that they went gone. So you will get your sheep dyes. And Sherry, hi, Sherry's here too. So I'm going to get started showing you guys my card. Where's my card? Under all the goodies that I brought over. And I'm not quite sure my format as I get used to what I'm doing here. But I'm going to show you the card. I am going to work on better lighting. So you tug this down. Remember, this is that same card that got yanked off my Facebook because they said I was gambling. And then it does open up to the inside, which I don't have a piece of paper on the inside of this one because if you look close, I've torn it apart. This is my little prototype. I've torn it apart. I put it back together when I work on it. So I just use that for my sample. So what I'm going to show you guys here tonight is we're going to make this card, and I am going to offer this card now in a card kit. So if you want to make some of these cards, I'm going to offer 4 card kit, 4 guts to this card, and then I will ship them out for $15. Now, I'm not set up yet for how that's supposed to work. So I'm thinking place a comment, and I can look back through the comments that, you know, just say, hey, check your messages, or you can message me, that kind of thing, because I'm still not sure how that all is going to work. I got some ideas, but for now, you know, I'll probably like PayPal it or Venmo it kind of thing. But for now, I'm not exactly sure how I'll do that. But I'm still going to offer you guys every 3 months, we'll do a what's that word? Culmination. We're going to do all 3 cards, just like we normally do. And you can pick 6 cards in any variety of the 3, but I'm also going to offer them on the month in a kit of 4 cards with all the guts. Then for this card, we're using this bundle, Peaceful Deer bundle. And I'm going to use the Delightful Tag Topper Punch. So if you wanted to order those and pick your free paper from Celebration before the end of Celebration, you'll have pretty much everything you need except for the regular cardstock to make as many of these as you want. And if you order, it doesn't have to be this, but if you order by Tuesday, $50 worth of products, I'll send you the card kit of the 4 cards for free. That was a lot. It's a lot for me to wrap my head around. This hat might be a little tight. And I might also just be really kind of on brain freeze from the overload of information that I got over the last few days. But that's what I'm going to try and do. So I kind of wrote myself a couple notes on it. So I told you all that before. I didn't want to tell you that now. I was going to tell you later, but that's it. So maybe I'll follow up again later and tell you guys in case other people come in, I'll call it late. I'll go over that again, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I might have missed some comments. Nice, pretty DSP, does it? Yeah, Sheila, if it's going to probably cost me a little more to send it to you. After I figure out shipping, I can let you know and see if it's something that you still want, is the card kit. But I'm hoping to keep them low in weight so that it doesn't cost a ton to ship anywhere. So yes, Sheila, if that's something you're interested in, I can work out shipping and see. I might have to boost yours up a couple bucks for the shipping to Canada, but I would love to share my card kits with you. I got enough DSP stuff. Do I have enough DSP, Mother? Or is that what you're asking me for the card kits? If I sold, I did, because I don't know when I'm making this card today, and then we're going to get together in 3 months to make this card, and then the one I do next month and the one I do the following month. I don't know how many everybody's going to want, so I'm stocking up, and I think I have 4 packs of this paper, possibly 5. So I've got enough, unless I get 150,000 people want these card kits. We could only get that lucky. If that's the case, I'll figure it out. So I'm going to turn my camera down for you guys. You can look at my cool shirt. I think I had this on a couple weeks ago when Debbie Green #2 was on, when I said Debbie Green's daughter made this for me, Brooke from Troll Marketplace. Oh, I can't. What am I doing? I got my desktop is already there, but you're not seeing that. You're seeing me leaning in. All right, let's figure out how to spotlight this desktop. Move pin, there we go. I always have the desktop on for me to see so that I make sure that everything is showing up in the video. And there we go. There we go, everybody. All right, so here's again our card. It's a cute little adorable card that you guys, I had, I'll tell you my little brush with celebrity this weekend. Nick Lachey, which I told my girls already, my friends, his mom was at our thing that I was at this weekend. And this is the same layout that I made for my swap, my general swap at this event I was at. She came up to me today and asked me for directions on how to do this because she thought that this flippy doodle was adorable and she couldn't figure out how to do it. So I showed her, I gave her one of my swaps. I said, here you go. Here's an extra. And then I tore it apart to show her how it went back together. So that was my brush with fame. Maybe she'll send it to Nick, but she talked a little bit over the weekend to different people about that new NCIS Hawaii. His wife is the star, what do you call it, detective on there. So she was talking about that, and you know, I started here with an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of paper, folded it in half. And this is real red. And because it looks like the paper is real red is why I use real red. I'm thinking and plus it tells me that on the I'm sure you guys all know this, but just in case, when you get a DSP package, which is designer series paper, the piece on the back, it always gives you the coordinating colors that are in the card stock. So, you know, some of our new card stock, like the Artful Impressions, it's just watercolor looking. So it covers a gamut, even though there's just a few colors listed. It pretty much, you can use your own judgment on some of them for what colors they really will go with. But in this case, it's pretty straightforward. There's not that many shades of the colors in there. So now I have Sahara sand, and it is 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to glue that down. And you guys, if you haven't noticed, for anybody who's a demo, you may have noticed, but those that aren't, Stampin' Up's having trouble getting their adhesives for the new Stamp and Seal Plus. So make sure that you have got a backup favorite as we move into the Christmas card season, just in case it doesn't come back in and one of these are your favorite. They're having a hard time getting them. We're getting hit with a lot of back order products, low inventory products, just for supply chain issues. But that's just a heads up. If you use the old snails, well, you can't get those anymore, but some people use the non-Stampin' Up brand, and I haven't seen any issues with those or with the green glue, but the Seal and Seal Plus are struggling to get into stock. So then I used one of the patterns out of there, and this is the Sahara sand in the real red and white. And the back is like a birch tree pattern, but we're going to use the stripy part. It is 5 by 3 3/4 inches. And for anybody that gets the card kits, I will make up some tutorials so that you won't have to try and come back to my video to figure out what I did. I will make up a tutorial that I'll stick in the box or the envelope, however I end up mailing them out. unless you would rather I put it online somewhere that you can access, like a link from my blog or something that you can access into like a Google Drive or something that they're always there. But that's to come. That's progress down the road. But for now, I'll make a typed up tutorial that I will put in with it. Then we're going to add on the strip here on the side. It goes, it is 5 by 1.5 inches. And then I'm putting this deer DSP over the top. You guys, it is very dark in my lighting, sorry. So this is 5 by 1.25 inches, because this one, if I just misspoke, it's 1.5 inches. So the layer is 1.25, and I'm going to glue the deer onto, and as I flip these over, you can see some of the cool patterns on the other side. Not a nice pale plaid in the Sahara sand. I'm gonna glue that on, hopefully straight. No, it doesn't look like it, but you know. And then this one is just going to glue flat onto the card front. And I just left a smidge, like 1/4 inch or something showing, only because this tag part here, you want it to kind of cover over it a little bit. So, and you want a little bit of the designer paper to show on the other side. So I'm just going to stick it, you know, 1/4 inch or so in from the edge of that paper. Like so. Oh, Jenna's on. Hi, Jenna. They talked about Jenna over the weekend in our little thing I was at. She was at Rhonda Wade's training session that she did in the spring. And I don't know what she brought up, but she said, oh, Jenna did such and such. And I said, I know Jenna. So now you guys, over the front of it all, I've got another 1.5 inch piece of real red, and then a 1.25 by, and then we're at 3 1/4 wide. So I got the DSP at 1.25 by 3 3 3/4 inches wide. And I'm going to glue that on to the front. Oh, and look at the back side. Look at that fun plaid on the back. I think that would be too busy. We need the snowflakes in here to break it up a little bit. And put that down as straight as I can. All right, now here comes the fun part. So this is why I told you about your Seal Plus and such being on back order, because you want to use on this type of card a really strong adhesive, because we're just going to glue the 2 sides, 2 edges. So we're going to glue over this layer that we put down. So there's a little bit of height in there. So you need something that's going to stick that down good. I suppose you could use dimensionals. Someone might be thinking, why doesn't she just use a dimensional? You probably could, but that's going to stick up higher than what I want. So I'm going to use my Seal Plus, just because my green glue, I could use my green glue. I'm not gonna though. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna just go that wide, just as wide as the plus is. And then I'm gonna put this pretty close to center, but I think I'm gonna go a little bit lower or not. We'll see where it ends up. And then just glue that down over the top of everything. All right, so if you're using the green glue, the liquid glue of some sort, which Doris told me to get the glitter art glue, I think it's called, but you think that I can find that in stock anywhere? She told me to get it from, I forgot where she told me to get it. May Makes or something like that. This lady, I think she's a quilter lady, but she sells it and she hasn't had it back in stock. But Doris told me if you order that glue, to be certain that where you get it from, it does not get below 40-degree temperature, or the glue is no more useful. It's bad after that point. So if you're going to get it, don't have it shipped to Michigan, Wisconsin, any of those nice chilly places in the wintertime, because it will ruin the glue. So we got those glued down on the side. And if I find the berry, or it's not the berry, it's the glitter art glue, I'll let you know how it works, because she swears by it. Everybody in her quilting group swear by it. So I'm gonna have to check it out. So now we want this pocket. See how that slides through there? It's like a little pocket. And if anybody's made a waterfall card, this is kind of a little bit like a waterfall card, where you pull this down. It's the same idea, but a waterfall card is longer and has more of these little pieces. You scored it more and there's more pieces, so they flip up, like 3 or 4 of them flip up. We're just doing one. So my piece here now is 5 3/4 inches by 2. And so you could probably make it whatever you wanted if you weren't going to use the tag topper kind of punches, because they're not going to slide in there. But if you've got a die or something that you want to use, that's perfect too. So I'm just going to slide this in there and punch off the top like that. And I did put in the comments before I started, that's what got me here a little bit late. I did put a link to my store, that if you wanted to order anything, you can go there. And then I put the bundle, this guy's bundle number, and that tag topper, because that tag topper punch is still available. I put that in there, and that will get you to your free celebration item. So now we're going to take this strip and we're going to score it. Do not cut it, score it at 2 inches. Then move it to 2 1/4 inches and score it again. Like that. And then just burnish your edges. And then if you're using the same color, so my inside here is just this flap. My swap card I made, I used a different color, so I glued it over the top of this, and then I put my white on. So that's your preference, but since this is 2 inches wide, you'll want to cut down your piece. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this piece that's going to go on here, just so I can glue that down. And I'm going to use real red. And I'm using the Wishing You a Wonderful Year and Friendships, dear. From that, let's see if we can make this work. And I'm going to put that up toward the top. Stamp that on. And I got to be careful, because you'll see on my sample, I had a glob of my ink from somewhere, and then I smeared it. So we got to be careful. Then I'm going to take the Merry Christmas from in here. And do I have a long block on my table? Yes, I do. All right, now we're going to try and get tricky. So when you try and get tricky, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So I'm going to do Merry Christmas. And I suppose a Stamparatus in this situation could be very helpful. But then again, maybe not, because then I'd have to probably cut the stamp in half. So I'm going to put Mary down there. And if I would have thought about it properly, I would have brought my cleaner over But since I have black socks on, what's better than black socks? Who can see it? So now, once we've cleaned off our stamp, like so, we're going to come back through with stamping or cleaning up the Christmas. And the reason you want to clean it good between is because any residue, as you put that down on there, you're going to get that like the second generation stamping or something like that, I want to call it. So let's see if I cleaned it good enough. So then now I just done Christmas. And I'm gonna let it sit for a second because you know my sample here, I screwed it up I probably brushed it off and I went right through the letters. If you have your heat tool, that would work too. So I'm gonna move on forward and hope that it's dry. And then I'm just gonna glue this on to I'm gonna call it the front piece. Right here. And flip it over just in case it's not dry. Sometimes these darker reds and purple and stuff get, I don't know what they get, but they don't dry as quick. I don't know if the ink starts to separate out and then the pigment is in two different forms and then you spread it and you mess it all up. Okay, now I'm going to move to the front. And the front is going to go just on that 1/4 inch panel right there. So I have a little bit wider. I got a 2 1/4 inch piece of Sahara sand. And then I have a 2 inch of the basic white. And I'm going to glue those together because I didn't stamp on mine. I'm just going to use it as the base for the deer. Move that down. And then again, you'll want to use your liquid glue or something. I'm going to use the liquid glue on this one because it's a little skinnier. So I'm just going to put a thin line on here because I don't want it to squirt out all over. In that 1/4 inch space, and then take now this is your actual top, and just line it up to the score line. And what would that be? That would probably be our 2 1/4 inch score line because it would be back in further. And then I'm going to give that a second to dry. Okay. Then I'm going to put it on just so that you guys, we can put it on. The suspense is killing you. I know it is. And then, so you're going to slide your tag top part down under this little pocket. Then we're going to say line it up where you want. Depends if you want some of the pattern paper showing. If you are more of, you want it, you know, centered on the card, you want it offset, however you want to do it, just kind of line it up wherever you want it. And don't make your tag part too long because you're going to want to be able to pull it. And if you make it like more than 5 3/4, it's going to come all over your card and stuff. So just kind of, I'm measuring off of the Sahara sand square. And so I'm going to go say like right there, it comes over this a little bit. It's not quite too close over here where it's going to pull too hard. So then I'm going to open it up. And you're just going to glue a smidge right there. And I will use I'm going to use my liquid glue again, just because it gives me some wiggle time. But you just want a thin layer just on the red. And I did find, and my Kathy told me that on this card, it's like, boy, that sure is stiff. Well, I guess I used too much of the white glue because I don't use it a whole lot. This card is really stiff. So all those layers, I must have used way too much white glue. So now you just want to close it down. Got the glue on there, just close it down. And then what I did was I kind of held on to it and pulled it just to kind of make sure it was on there straight, but you don't have to actually, you know, get that fussy with it if you don't want to, but, and then just make sure it glues down and then dries before you get going too much further. Oh, there's Kathy. Hi, Kathy. All right, so I'm going to call that dry for now. And that's on there. And then we're going to do our deer. And I might mess myself up because I only brought a little tiny piece of Sahara sand. Let me get a bigger one because it's going to be too hard. I forgot I had to stamp it. I just was setting myself up to be able to punch it out of that piece. So we need the 2 deer, and we're going to do the outline deer first. I'm going to do this deer, and it could be like a doe without the horns. And I did that in early espresso. And then I'm going to shut that and bring in my, I brought crumb cake. Sahara sand would work, but I brought crumb cake because I think I wanted him a little bit darker than the paper. And I thought my crumb cake would do that. So we're going to just, it lines up, and I can't call him a he yet because it doesn't have any horns. So I'm gonna call it a she. She lines up, and being clear, we can see through. I'm gonna call that good. And what does that say? Oh, what fun is through the stamp. It's etched out in the stamp, obviously. Then we're going to pull out the deer punch, deer builder. And I'm going to stamp or punch them out. And I don't want to say it's tricky to line up, but just, you know, make sure you got the legs and everything in there. If you go a little bit one direction, you might cut the leg off and stuff. And then in this case, we do want the horns as well. And I think this little tiny thing might be, if you wanted to make it Rudolph, that little thing you could punch out for a nose, but I only want the deer and the horns. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue behind. And then I'm just gonna glue them on. And because, you know, I'm not really I think they go behind. Maybe should they be sticking out of the front? What do you guys think? I don't know. The horns on a deer are on the front. It looks kind of weird behind now that I look at it. Do they go on the front or the back? Let me stick them on the front and show you again. What do you think? Should we stick them on the front now that it's on my glue? Hey, Janice, thanks for sharing. Anybody got an opinion? Do I want to put them on the back or the front of this deer? Here's the back. Now that I see it, I think they do need to go on the front, don't they? Let me punch another pair that don't have a, oops, that's a tag dropper. Let me get another pair that's not got glue all over them and put them up there and see. I think they got to go on the front. Because don't the horns of a deer come out of his, like, Kathy thinks the back. I thought the horns of a deer would come out of the, don't they come out of their fort, like their top of their head like that? But that looks weird too. Yeah. Okay, we'll put them on the back, I think, because I don't know what looks worse, the front or the back. Kathy says back. She's my only response, so we'll go with the back. Probably you can't see with my... I guess it looks okay on the back. I just don't want them to look like they're kind of floating out there because they don't come off on a deer that way. Oh, Lord. Who'd have thunk it was such an issue? But they don't look like they belong on the front of the deer either. So we're going to go on the back. Debbie said the back too, so we'll go with the back. Even though they look like they're kind of floating out there, we'll put them on the back. And mine are going to point in toward each other. I don't know if that's right either. Or should they go? I probably should look online at some deer and see how they all... My husband's not a hunter, so I don't see too many. And my brothers and my dad were hunters, but that was a long time ago. And then we're going to pop that up on the front, like so. And I'm going to use like a dimensional on his head that touches the horns just to help keep him in place. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. That see how that one's all bent? That's what was my reminder to tell you to then be careful with your placement of said deer, because when you pull down on it, it'll get caught. The antlers will get caught. So let me show you. These little antlers will get caught on the... See if they stick over too far. Let's see if I can just lightly put that on there. I tried to like center on that, but when you pull, see how is it head's getting caught on the card, so it's going to bend them. So I think we want to pull it down a little bit and see if that fixes it. Then I have some, I don't think we saw this anymore, but real red braided linen trim. I know we have all kinds of other red stuff that could be used. I just happen to have this red one in my ribbon holder over there, so I grabbed it and I just like fed it through the hole and tied a knot. Yep, I tied a knot. And I don't pull it tight until I get the knot part where I want it. And then pull it, kind of tighten it down a little bit. And then you can trim those off. You can fray them. I'm going to trim them a little bit so that they fit in the envelope. And you guys remember my scissors I was complaining about that they were so dull last week, I think it was. They were sharpening scissors at this thing I went to this weekend. People knew about it ahead of time and they had a big old bag of scissors and they were sharpening them for $5, which is also a good thing because if you need a set of paper snips, they are either low inventory or on back order maybe by now. So a lot of weird stuff showing up on that back order report or inventory status report. So that is it, guys. I'm going to then put a, we could put a piece inside of the basic white, and I'm just going to stamp another deer in there while I got one. I'm just going to do the outline one just for a little something something inside. We could also take a strip of the paper. So let's try that. Let's put, no, we don't want that deer up there. we'll put the deer down here. Start with the deer down there. And you could stamp off, and then that'll make it a little bit lighter as well. And then let me find a quick piece of oh, that's all right. I was going to put a strip of the paper across there, but I don't have one. Oh, here's one. Didn't have one handy. That was, we'll just put a thin piece across there. It's 4 inches by about 3/4 of an inch. Nope, you know what? I'm going to go up the side because I'm going to cover up my deer. So I'm going to go at 5 1/4. Put some adhesive on the strip. Like so. I'm just going to go down the side, and this might be a little bit wider than what you'd want as well. Maybe you want 1/4 inch. Maybe leave the deer off because it doesn't leave a whole lot of room if you want to put a Merry Christmas or something inside of there. But it's just an idea to jazz up the inside because, you know, we got to do the inside now and the envelope. And there we go. Put your little John Hancock or your little Jill Blanchette on the back. And you're done. So there we go. That's our card for tonight. Let's go back to there. Let's go back to here. Oh, this clearance rack. Sherry Parker, this red ribbon is on the clearance rack. So guys, as I stated earlier, you can get the Peaceful Deer bundle, the Delightful Tag Topper Punch, and then that will get you the free paper. If you get that by Tuesday, it will also earn you a free card kit for 4 of these. And while you're at it, you can add the red woven ribbon. What do we got to say what it's called again? The braided linen trim to your order from the clearance rack. And you can make as many of these as your little heart desires until your paper runs out. So that's it. I thank you guys for watching my September Christmas video. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, whatever's left of it. And I will be back on Tuesday with, I don't know what yet. I got all kinds of ideas swirling through my head. So I guess shoot me a comment. If you guys liked my new, like, I'll call it format, the different things that I did that I haven't normally done, showing you what I'm using, offering the card kits, that kind of thing. Place an order, get a free card kit. Just order the card kit because you already have everything. The card kits itself was $15 for 4 sets of the guts, including shipping. So just let me know. I can't wait to see some feedback. Always wanting to know if I'm doing what you guys are looking for. And that's it. I will be back on Tuesday for my normal live. Until then, have a great evening, weekend, and I'll see you then. Bye, guys.